Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rice again here from Concordia University Online, and today I have with me Mr. Ben Shroyer. He works at Dickinson State University in North Dakota. And Ben, welcome to our conversation today, and looking forward to learning more about what you do there at Dickinson State. Could you give us a brief overview of who you are, where you're from, your background educationally, and your career and everything else?
Yep, sure can. Thanks for having me, Dr. Rice, and exciting to be able to give a little bit of my expertise and background, I guess, to the students there at Concordia. And I know you guys are in good hands with Dr. Rice as your professor. He was a great teacher for me as I underwent my master's degree at the United States Sports Academy and had Dr. Rice in a few classes. So you guys are getting some good information and knowledge from him, and I'd use him to the best of your abilities that you can. But a little bit about myself. I'm originally born and raised from Ohio, southwestern part of the state, and moved out to North Dakota, which is where Dickinson State is, 4 years ago. Came out here obviously for a job opportunity to kind of make the next step in my career at the collegiate level. So, but anyway, I got a bachelor's degree in Ohio from Cedarville University, which was a sport management degree, which was my bachelor's degree. While I was at Cedarville, I had the opportunity to participate in track and field and indoor and outdoor track, cross country and indoor and outdoor track while I was there for 4 years. So that was a great experience to, obviously stay within the sport, and then as an athlete to be able to, go through college and be able to stay active in that way. So after Cedarville, I graduated and got a job as an assistant athletic director at a fairly large public school system in Ohio, and there was, like I said, was assistant athletic director, assisted a lot with the high school level, but my primary responsibilities were to manage the junior high level activities and athletics there at the school district I worked with. And then from there is when my wife and I moved out to North Dakota, and I'm currently the sport facility manager at Dickinson State, where I manage it's basically a multi-purpose facility, but it does host all our football games and track and field meets for both the university and the two high schools that are here in town. And then, like I said, on top of that, it is an event center in itself. It was built with some community money, and then obviously the community uses it for meetings and receptions and banquets and conferences and things like that throughout the year. So it's been an exciting past few years out here, and really enjoyed working at the collegiate level and being involved in that capacity. So.
Okay, so you stated that you worked in scholastic sports for a little bit in athletics and at the high school and junior high level, and a lot of the students at Concordia also work at that level. What was it that you felt led you to go to the college level, and also what steps did you take to get into that role there at Dickinson State?
Well, obviously when I was at the scholastic level, which I was there within that public school district for 5 years, so got a lot of good experience. Obviously, you wear a lot of different hats, helping at all levels and being involved with each sport and kind of managing that, and obviously dealing with coaches and parents and community members and things like that. And I guess from day one, I've just really been, from my experiences at Cedarville, obviously as a student athlete there, and kind of the education I got at Cedarville and the people I built relationships there, just kind of felt that collegiate sports was a little more of my niche than the scholastic level. I don't regret being at the scholastic level. And it was actually a hard decision to come out this way, because we were really enjoying our time at Springboro where we were at, but due to some personal reasons with my wife being pregnant and things like that, and kind of our family situation and things, that was part of the reason why we moved out here and got more involved at the collegiate level as soon as I did. So and so it's, like I said, it's been great to be out here, and there's obviously some differences between the scholastic level and the collegiate level and how things are run and the people we work with, and things like that. So. Okay.
Well, what's a typical day for you, Ben, at the Badlands Athletic Center? What does a typical day look like?
Yep. Well, and as a facility manager, it's every day is different. Obviously, it all depends on kind of the events that you got going on and things you have to prepare for. Obviously some weeks are busier than others. But I guess a typical day is, you come to work usually by 8 o'clock. Depending on if you got an event the night before, sometimes you can come in a little later than other days. But there's always something going on. I'm really a one-person staff here at the facility, so if I wanted to have some flex time or whatnot, you gotta remember that the phone's always going to ring and emails are coming in and businesses needs to be done. So you got to get obviously to work early, and usually I start with checking emails and returning voicemail, and if it's a Monday, obviously going over the week's calendar and making sure things are set up for the week, and giving my staff kind of the schedule for the week, and making sure all the coordination of the events is prepared, and the setups are ready and things that we need for each event, and coordinating with the people that are renting the facility. I touch base with them that we've got everything ready for them and all their needs met and all the different amenities that they're going to need and things like that. So that's kind of a day-to-day basis. And then if there's an event going on during the day, obviously you got to be on site to be able to to respond to situations that might arise or things that might come up during the event, and things like that, and be on call. Because as a facility manager, I found that you're managing the facility, you got to know how it runs inside and out, and something comes up, you've got to be the first response to deal with those situations and know how to fix things if something needs to be fixed. So
sure. Well, that brings up my next question, and that would be, what do you find? You brought up some of your challenges being a one-person shop, but what's the biggest challenge that you deal with in your role?
Yeah. Staffing is kind of a challenge here, because when this facility was built, which, if you're not familiar, Western North Dakota right now, we're in the midst of an oil boom. So business and activity out here is going crazy. The economy is extremely strong and things. So this facility was being constructed and actually just opened the year that kind of the oil boom took off. So during the planning and strategic planning phases of this facility, which I wasn't around for, they were only anticipating anywhere from 40 to 80 events a year coming through this facility. Well, then when the oil boom hit and all these oil companies are coming into town, and businesses and contractors and things, everybody obviously needs space for meetings and parties and luncheons and things like that. So our numbers have gone through the roof, and there really wasn't a lot of hotel space in town either, because hotels usually have some convention space and different centers that they can host meetings as well. So so when all that took off, our facility was really hit from the start with a lot of activity and response for people wanting to use this facility for different things. And so last year we had over 345 events here in this facility, and it's gone up every year. We're getting close to capacity right now, just because this facility wasn't built with a lot of rooms that we can rent out. We're being used almost daily, once a day throughout the whole year. So we're running out of space, but so yeah, that's obviously been a challenge, because, like I said, the facility was built with the mindset there wasn't going to be a lot enough events that one manager and a custodial staff could kind of handle the demand. Well, since like I said, since that oil boom's taken off, and we've had to adjust, and it's kind of still a two-person shop over here, but we do get assistance from our own campus facilities, and I know one of the questions was about outsourcing of different services, and we've had to do that on occasion as well to cover our needs and be able to provide the service that we want to our clients. So
sure. Now, and with concessions and things of that nature, with the outsourcing, do you guys have outsourcing, or do teams on campus do that for raising money? I mean, how do you work that?
Yeah, our concession stand is completely outsourced through Sedesco, which is a nationwide company. I know a lot of other universities use them for their food service for their student body, and they do our concessions and all the catering here at the facility for the events that we have. So that covers that. And then and even Sedesco to this day has some challenges with staffing as well, because they're trying to keep up with feeding our students on campus, and then obviously catering events here at the BAC, and and they've even picked up some caterings here in town as well. So within those three areas, they've had challenges with staffing, and it's people are coming out here to work, but it's with the prices that people are looking to be paid with the oil, with the oil boom and things pushing costs and things like that. It's what makes it a challenge. So yeah, we our university has outsourced our food service altogether, and that's what my facility uses as well as Sedesco. security guard service we've outsourced as well. There's a couple of security guard companies here in town that we use for athletic events, obviously, that we need quite a few guards to provide security for those events. So, and we use them as well for holiday parties and things like that that we have at the facility. We outsource our security that way. So, and then from time to time, we've had to bring in some extra as far as maintenance and renovations and things like that, contractors and things we've outsourced. A lot of stuff we usually do in-house through our facility operations department and the maintenance people and the people that we have in our heat plant with plumbing and electrical and things like that we can do in-house. But obviously for some projects we've had to outsource and use in that regard. So and on top of that, custodial services as well. With this facility being used 345, 350 times a year, there's events the night before you got to turn over, obviously, for a next day or whatnot, and so you got to bring extra help and use some extra services there to get things ready for the next event. So
sure. Well, 340, that's a lot of events. What is the top revenue generator that you have each year in your facility?
Yeah, well, I guess, to be honest with you, the events isn't the top revenue generator. It's the sponsorships and this facility, we have suites and club seats. So those are obviously high dollar revenue generators that's going into our general operating budget. So that's our highest revenue generator is the sponsorship sales and the naming rights and things that we have in this facility that's bringing in revenue each year. Then obviously the events on top of that is adding to the overall operating budget and assisting as well. But anytime you have mass people in the facility with athletic events and from ticket sales to concessions to parking and things like that, those are usually our highest revenue generating events. We do have some Christmas parties that obviously the alcohol sales, when that's involved, that brings up the revenue pretty quickly as well. So
sure. And with regard to sponsorships, are you going out and securing those, or how does that work?
Yeah, I assist a couple people on campus with that. So I'm not really the lead guy that sells those, but I do have an active part with marketing the materials and promoting the suites and the club seats that we're selling and helping get that around together and whatnot. And during the season, I'm one of the guys that's on site that if somebody wants to come and buy a package or look at a suite or things like that I'm around to actively sell those and get them in touch with the other individuals. So
sure. Now you had mentioned, when was the center built again? What year?
Yeah, it opened in May of 2010, so we're going on 5 years this coming May. So
okay. And obviously you were hired about a year or so, year and a half after it was constructed. When you think about the ADA side of things, Americans with Disabilities Act, the standards and whatnot, how did the center work to fit those standards for local people in the area with those needs?
Yep. Well, and thankfully this is basically a pretty new facility, so we haven't had any issues that we need to make some renovation changes to be able to be ADA accessible. Everything's up to code since the facility was constructed. But it's interesting. Anytime somebody comes for an event or calls about an event, if they're looking for directions or something, they always ask if it's ADA accessible, because I guess people are still in the impression that a lot of buildings aren't up to code nowadays. So obviously got to explain to them that we got handicap ramps and we got automatic doors, and obviously for football games our ticket booth has to be the right requirements so that people that are disabled can get up to that and purchase a ticket, and things from hearing devices to braille materials for those that can't see or hear. We've got all of that up to code as far as signage, and there's an elevator in our facility because our facility is a 3-story building, so obviously an elevator is very important for people to get around. And I've actually kind of been able to experience this firsthand. I had foot surgery 2 weeks ago, so I've been on crutches for a few weeks, and I've been able to use the ADA accessibility areas in this facility, and it's made me conscious and mindful of what some other people have to go through, and obviously opened my eyes a little more to be able to be more cognizant of that and make sure people are, for me experiencing it firsthand, is make sure everything's around, up to code and things are where they need to be. So, our restrooms, there's handicapped accessible restrooms, and I'm trying to think of some other areas. We do some outdoor movie nights here. over the summer, and which is shown on our video board on the football field. And we've had a couple people that's come in that's been deaf before, and you turn on the closed caption for the movies on that, so that that they can obviously take part in that movie. And for athletic events, the seating outdoors, has got to be accessible for wheelchairs, but then you got to have enough space for a patron that's coming with those individuals for them to be able to have a seat next to them as well. So, there's a lot of things to take into consideration there, and thankfully this facility was built the right way. Obviously, with it being new, and haven't had a lot of challenges, but you got to be mindful of those customers coming in the facility, and we try to have some ushers available throughout each event and athletic contests that can assist those people that do need some extra help and assistance. So,
okay. One last question, and it's regarding earning a master's degree. Students that are watching this video most of them are high school teachers and coaches here in the state of Texas. We do have folks from other parts of the country as well, and folks that aren't in teaching at the high school level currently. What would you say, as far as your graduate school education, and how important was that for you to get into this business?
Yeah, well, at the college level, I'm seeing that if you want to be a coach or do any type of administration or facility management at the college level, that's a lot. Schools. If you don't have a master's degree, your resume. That's one of the requirements when you're applying for those jobs. So, if you want to get to collegiate level, you've got to have a master's degree, and on top of that, as you work kind of up the chain within an athletic department, especially if you're at a larger school, getting a doctor's degree, I can see is going to be beneficial as well, because people are looking for that expertise and that experience and knowledge that that they can bring to the position and to those universities or businesses. So, it's obviously helped me, because master's degree will help you expand on what you learned, as an undergraduate student. So, and it gets more specific within your graduate degree. You focus more on different areas within sport management, between like you said, facilities and human resources, and all the different areas that if you're a facility manager or a coach, that you're going to run into throughout your career and throughout your job. So, I don't regret getting a master's degree and getting it from the United States Sports Academy, which is one of the universities that Dr. Rice is a faculty at. It's a great education, and I'm proud to be an alumni there. So,
great. Well, Ben, is there anything that you would like to offer to the students that are watching this at home or wherever they are,
sure,
that can help them in their future as far as being climbing the ladder in sports and the sports industry?
Yep. Well, it's obviously a competitive market out there. So, by getting an education and networking and as much experience as you can getting involved with people that care about you, like Dr. Rice, is going to help you succeed in your careers. Leaning on those individuals that can help you, to be the best that you can be, and obviously succeed. Well, it'll go a long way with you being successful in your career and kind of making a name for yourself, and then those opportunities will come up hopefully down the road that you can move on and move up the ladder. So, and obviously it's when I got my master's degree, I was obviously working full time and had a family. So it's going to be a challenge with balancing the school and work, and making sure you're putting the appropriate time into getting your master's degree and doing a good job at it, not just kind of getting through it to get that degree, but doing a good job and pushing yourself and trying to see how well you can do your classes and learn and things like that, because it will pay off down the road. There'll be situations that'll come up that you'll need that you'll need that education, and that you'll be thankful that you really took the time and really got into those classes and learned a lot, and got the most out of it that you could be. So it's great to get through a program, and that's always obviously a kind of a big heavy, I wouldn't say a burden, but a heavy block that you got on your shoulders during that time of your life, especially if you're still working full time or you have a family. But it'll pay off in the end, and keep plugging away and working hard, and everything will go well. So.
Super. Well, Ben, thanks so much for taking time out of your very busy day there in North Dakota, and we appreciate your time and your knowledge and expertise and sharing it with our students here at Concordia. Students, if you have any questions of Ben, or if you would like to contact Ben for more information, please let me know. Is that okay, Ben, to get your information out to people?
Yep, not a problem, for sure. I just make sure I won't send it back with too much ice on it.
There you go, yes. Well, anyway, guys, have a great rest of the day. Again, Ben, thanks so much. And we will see you in the classroom this week. Have a great week, guys.
Yep, thanks a lot.